all with irrigation.
And it makes sense because he was just speaking about organization. They just love to be organized, so that makes sense to putting people in place, you know?
Yeah, that's nice. Go pick from that tree.
Okay, you go in the fields.
Good.
What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchet REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction.
Yes.
Super excited about this video, guys. If you're new to us and we're
new to you,
make sure you scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell because we're on the road to 100K. And we cannot get there without you guys, all right? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
It's the Gambia, not Gambia, the Gambia. You gotta put a the before Gambia. And it's Gambia, not Zambia, not Gambit, not Getbia, as in Bob said, Getbia, Gambia.
Okay.
It's time to learn geography
now! Hey everyone, welcome to the Gambia. They actually deliberately chose to put the before Gambia to avoid confusion with Zambia, making it one of the only countries with a the in the shortened title. Wow, that was like the least witty opening I've ever made for a video. Okay, let's see. This place is so interesting, you'll be saying, Dambia!
Is that the first time you're using profane language on your show?
No, I meant dam as in a beaver dam.
Yeah. Okay.
14.
Hold on, it be popping
Dude,
up.
half of this country's charm is found in its strangely drawn borders and territory marks. Not only is it the smallest country on mainland Africa, but it's also disputably the most oddly shaped. First of all, the Gambia is located on the furthest section of Western Africa off the Atlantic coast. Other than its 80-kilometer coastline on the Atlantic, the Gambia is completely surrounded by Senegal on all three sides and meanders inland following the Gambia River for about 320 kilometers. The country is divided into 8 local government areas, including the capital Banjul, which is classified as a city area, located on a small island just at the mouth of the river. The largest city just next door to Banjul, though, is Serekunda, and the entire country has one international airport, Banjul Yundum International, which, by the way, has a bunch of weird airlines that I never heard of that fly to it, like the UK's Thomas Cook Airlines and Lithuania's Small Planet Airlines. Whoa. Off the coast, the furthest plots of land that lay claim to the Gambia are the Bijol Islands. The Gambia is often referred to as the smiling coast of Africa due to the fact that not only are the beaches amazing, but if you look at the map, it kind of looks like Senegal is a deformed Pac-Man looking type of thing, and the Gambia is a cheeky, sultry Elvis curled lip grin smile. Otherwise, the country in itself looks like a snake with a horrible underbite. Now, you might be thinking, okay, why does this country even exist? Like, it's so small, wouldn't it be easier if they just joined Senegal and became one country? Well, that's a very observant but horrible conclusion. Now, you have to understand that in Africa, every stretch of territorial sovereignty claim matters, even if you can just take a morning stroll across one side of the country to the other. The reason why the Gambia is shaped like this is partially because of European colonialism and partially because of complacency. Senegal used to belong to the French Empire and the Gambia used to belong to the British. Essentially, they drew the borders to follow the Gambia River with 2 straight lines jutting inland from the coast between 13 degrees 9 minutes and 13 degrees 30 minutes north. However, they made a deal and said that the Gambia could have all the land that flowed west of the Halahin Balong River in the south. This did, however, transect a portion of the Janak Peninsula, which is shared by both countries. Somewhere along the halfway point, they decided that the straight lines would stop and that the country would be allotted somewhere between 9 to 12-ish kilometers in every direction around the river on each side inland for about 320 kilometers. That's not a lot. I mean, area-wise.
So, really, how does that work?
Right.
Well, just a river. Like, are there any homes that's just along the river?
Seems that way.
Yeah,
I mean,
would it be like a park or something?
That's something we have to dive into.
Yeah,
I hope he does
videos.
that, like, whenever he goes deep into it, it shows more about it, into the Gambia, right? But yeah, it's interesting, though.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to look at videos of that.
Yeah, this is a different one.
Yeah, very different.
The entire country is only about the size of Jamaica. So essentially, the country is kind of like a river that masquerades as a country. The most important route, though, would have to be the north and south bank roads. You can literally traverse the entire country on this loop road that starts west at Bara and then crosses the river at Fatoto and then heads all the way back to Banjul. Keep in mind, though, most borders aren't even really marked that well or at all. Most checkpoints between them and Senegal only appear on major roadways. Otherwise, you can totally cross into Senegal from virtually any open field along the way. A few notable sites would include the Senegambian Stone Circles, the world's largest concentration of stone circles and a UNESCO heritage site. Every visitor would go to the Arch 22 where you can get a nice panorama city view. If you have time, check out Kunta Kinte or Fort James Island that has a somewhat austere backstory and was kind
Okay, before he continues.
My first time hearing this.
Yeah, so ever since, I read the book. Because I feel like the movie it's like leave the little notes at the bottom, but
Yeah.
you know, everybody don't pay attention to that.
Right.
But I read the book, and you know, it said present day the Gambia, and so ever since then I wanted to. Although I'm not even like connected to Kunta Kinte, like that was, you know, the American story
Yeah.
that we all saw growing up and show our children. So I wanted to see this.
Yeah, that's what's up. I don't think this is where the village was, where his family was, right? I don't think it was in the Gambia.
Maybe no, it was the Gambia.
It wasn't in the Gambia.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
where he's from. The
No,
Gambia.
yeah, so that makes sense. But
Yeah.
this is our first time getting more in depth about it right here.
Of technically part of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth at one point.
Yes, we made it to Africa that one time!
And that's the thing, in a lot of places in Africa, current borders don't really have much of a significance, but rather people tend to look at the tribal areas instead. And if that was the case, Africa would probably look more like this. Nonetheless, they still keep their country intact, and it all has to do with that one lifeline that connects them all, the Gambia River. Well, to no surprise, Gambia's land makeup pretty much comprises of whatever surrounds the Gambia River. This means that the majority of the land is a flat, grassy floodplain with
that's
mangroves
high up,
closer to the
baby.
coastline. In fact, about 10% of the entire land area is made up of water alone, and the highest point isn't even named. It's just a random hill that goes up 53 meters. Because of its limited space, the Gambia has had to develop a really creative cultivation plan over the past few decades. About 60% of the land area is of good arable quality, of which 40% is used for farming. About 80% of the population lives off of subsistence farming, mostly in rural areas, contributing to about a third of the GDP and 70% of the country's foreign exchange earnings. This means that organization is key. The Gambia has a very complex yet structured format in allocating crop fields. You have compounds, dadabas, mauros, kamayangos, and sinkiros that are administrated by a nakalo. There's also a kind of unspoken custom. Women are in charge of field and garden crops, whereas men are in charge of tree crops. And the river supplies them all with irrigation.
And it makes sense because he was just speaking about organization. They just love to be organized, so that makes sense to putting people in place, you know?
Yeah, that's nice. Go pick from that tree.
Okay, you go in the fields.
Good.
Two food sources that the country thrives off of course, seafood and peanuts. The Gambia
Nice.
River supplies them with an abundance of fish species like the cassava fish, pampanos, barracuda, butterfish, grouper, snapper, and of course everyone loves the Gambia River oysters. Peanuts are used as a staple in so many dishes like mafe stew and domoda. The country enjoys a relatively warm climate with a rainy season, especially along the coast. However, the further east you travel, the drier and arid the landscape begins until you reach the savanna upper inland. Since the whole country is situated around the river, this means that a huge portion of the land is comprised of wetlands and swamps, although sometimes hard to cultivate, are perfect for harboring rich biodiversity. Animals like river birds, hippos, aardvarks, geckos, crocodiles, bush pigs, warthogs can be found, and even bottlenose dolphins playing in the mouth of the river. Speaking of which, the lion is the official animal of the country as it's found on the coat of arms. Notable nature zones include the River Gambia National Park, heavily concentrated with wildlife, the Abuku Nature Reserve with monkeys, and check out the reptile farm in Khartoum. Now let's get a little crazier and talk about who's running the show called The Gambia, shall we? Okay, this is the part where the episode is going to get a little funny. And by that I mean when we discuss politics. First of all, the Gambia has about 2 million people and is one of the least militarized countries in the world. The country is made up of a few main ethnic groups, the largest one being the Mandika at over 40%, the Fula at around 20%, the Wolof at around 16%, the Jola at 10%, and the rest is a conglomeration of other Africans like the Serahuli and other non-Africans.
Also, they use the Gambian Dalasi as their currency, they use the Type G outlet, and they drive on the right side of the road.
The largest ethnic group, the Mandika, have lived in the area for centuries, and they are the descendants of the Mali kingdom that stretched all across West Africa and had one of the richest kings in history. The earliest recordings have shown that the Gambia was subject to various African kingdoms as well, such as the Foni, Kombo, Sine, Saloum, and the Fulado. Around 90% of the country is Sunni Muslim, and the remaining 10% is Christian. Islam in the Gambia follows the Maliki school of jurisprudence, the system predominantly used in North and West African countries. It's interesting though, because kind of like the Comoros, even though the country is predominantly Muslim, Gambian women have incredibly loose clothing customs and statutes. Most women don't even wear the hijab, let alone abayas, but rather the typical pattern cloth dresses with exposed arms and necklines. The official language is English, as the country for a while was a colony under the British Empire until independence in 1965. However, Mandinka, Wolof, Fula, and Jola are spoken as a first language to the majority of the population. It's not uncommon to hear people speaking French as a third language though, due to their close proximity to Senegal and relative isolation from the nearest English-speaking country, Sierra Leone, at around 700 kilometers away. Music is huge out here. Disputably, the Wolof people have the best drummers. When listening, you'll be like, yeah, that's my Gambia. Of course, you can't miss out on a Mandinka Kankurang Machete dance, which looks really cool. To address the illiteracy levels, they instead...
What's the machete dance? Why y'all ain't tell us nothing about that?
Nah, they got a machete in their hand for real though.
Oh,
you didn't
I didn't
see
see
it?
that part.
Yo, he
I just
literally had
thought it
like
was
a
like
big
a
machete in
shaking
his
The Wolof
hand.
people have the best
Wow, check 'em
drummers.
out.
When listening, you'll be like, yeah, that's my Gambia. Of course, you can't miss out on a Mandinka
Oh, that's what
Kankurang.
that was.
Yo, so that's like a real machete in his hand. This is very long. You feel me? So,
Oh, my Lord.
yeah, but more details about that in the comic section. I know it's spiritual. I know you have meaning behind it,
Yeah.
right? I'm digging the colors, the brightness about it. You know,
Is this
but
something I gotta run from again? You know, I'll be running.
you have me moving too, cause
I'm
Lord,
gonna be dragging you. Don't worry. We going together.
oh god.
Machete dance, which looks really cool. To address the illiteracy levels, they instead use a clear glass marble system in which the voter drops a marble in a steel drum to indicate the candidate that they want to choose. The Gambia has a strange
Heard
political
of that.
system. Technically, right now, there's a lot of drama between the outgoing president and the new one, this guy, who just won in 2016. I'm pretty sure this is the right picture of the guy. I know I've gotten a
This
few
probably-
notable pictures wrong in the past. Let's never speak
Somebody
of the Brazil
else now.
incident again. Speaking of which, the official title of the president is Sheikh Professor Dr. President. Let's just say he claims he has the cure for AIDS, arthritis, diabetes, and infertility. Anyway, Jammeh originally conceded his loss to Adama, but then a few days after the election results, he was like, never mind. I guess he thought the results were a shambia. Oh. Guys, this is one of my best friends and former roommates, Caleb. Say hi. There's a lot of controversy, though, because Adama has proposed a lot of policies that seem to favor the UK, whereas Jammeh was literally quoted for saying, Britain has done nothing except teach the Gambians how to sing Ba Ba Black Sheep. Well, interacting with the UK has played a huge role of importance in the country before and after independence. Let's elaborate. The Gambia, as mentioned
Best
before, is
friend.
mainland Africa's smallest country, so to no surprise, they kind of have to make friends to get by. The Gambia plays an active role in West African and Muslim affairs, therefore has been reaching out to other nations like Libya and Mauritania. Mali, though, has a historical root and ties in with the Gambia as the Mandinka peoples have origins in the Malian kingdom. When it comes to Asia, the Gambia has jumped back and forth between recognizing either the People's Republic of China or Taiwan. For the longest time, the Gambia was the third African state recognizing Taiwan for about 18 years until Jammeh changed his mind in 2013. China didn't respond right away since they were just a little suspicious, but eventually they reopened ties in 2016. The UK is a little tricky because even though Jammeh was not a fan of the Brits still maintained strong relations. The Gambia is an incredibly popular tourist destination as it's the closest English-speaking African country to them, and business still carries very well between them. Their two best friends, though, more or less, would probably be Senegal and Sierra Leone. At one point, the Gambia was part
Wait,
of
did you
both
say
countries
Senegal?
under the British
Yeah,
colonial...
I said Senegal.
And
you
I said
Sierra
Sierra.
Leone.
Oh, that's about right. See how
But that's
we-
interesting because
okay.
Sierra Leone is a little bit ways away, and they're the English speaking.
Well, they ain't too far though, but you know,
Okay.
I'm just happy we got it right. You feel
Yeah.
me? Yeah.
What? Teamwork.
times until the French took over. Then Senegal and Sierra Leone decided to kind of do their own thing. Nonetheless, proximity and language are what closely tie these three countries. In conclusion, the Gambia is a small, skinny country that literally surrounds the parameters of one river, but man, have they made something out of it. Stay tuned. Georgia.
So we did say that the river did describe more like a Louisiana thing with a Mississippi.
Oh yeah.
Like that
Mississippi.
big swamp feel, like that's like
Yeah.
that's 100% on that.
Yeah, definitely. It was interesting learning a little bit more about the Gambia. You know, of course, like that was one of our first real introductions to Africa.
Yeah.
Watching Roots and knowing that, you know, Kunta Kinte, his family was a part of the Mandinka tribe.
Yep.
Oh, I think that would be great for us to react to. You know, one of the last things that Kunta Kinte did in the movie was become a man, like
Right.
the rite of passage to become a man.
He became a man and he had his own hut for I guess some time before everything went crazy.
Yeah, and he actually warned his teachers about, you know, the colonizers being on the land. So
Yeah.
if there's a video out there, let us know.
Right, and then I know you guys got some beautiful tourist locations since tourist is one of the main spots for the British. I think he said.
Yeah,
I think,
the UK.
Yeah, the UK. So yeah, I know. I would love to see that. We would love to see that. You know,
Yeah.
dive into that.
Yes. So let's dive into the Gambia's culture. Super excited about learning more. We hope you guys enjoy this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our join feature to become a VIP member of the channel. Send in your reaction requests through our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.